Okay, repeating complex patterns, video 2. So the first one was marble, and this one is going to be fur. So I think the fur one is going to be more complicated. We're going to follow the basic principles from the other one. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, so with this one, make this a touch bigger, I think. We're going to move this into the corner like we have done with the other one. So this is a 200mm by 200mm square, and we're going to make this a half drop. Oops. So it's 100 across, and we're going to copy this down. Oops, no we're not. What have we done there? Copy that across, and we'll bring that down. Oh, I see what I did. There we go. And if we do that, and if we go across and down 200, and then across 200, if we select these three and move them up like so, and then we will copy that layer, bring it to the back, and we'll find, maybe that's a bit dark there, so maybe if we make that light. Right. So we are going to take all these images, we're going to keep the raw files, so we'll keep them in a file, copy the file with Command J, and then Command E or Control E will flatten it. So we've got a flattened version and we've got all the raw files. Usually we tend not to flatten stuff, but with this, because we're going to be using the clone stamp tool, it's easier to work on one flattened layer. But always make sure you keep raw files so you can always go back if you need to later on. Right, so we've gone into InDesign and we've done this, and it's pretty clear it doesn't look very good. But that's okay, because we're just at the beginning. So let's see what we can do about this. So if we go into our clone stamp tool, so hold down Alt. That's not really working that well. We need to bring this a little bigger and up the opacity. Turn the opacity on, sorry. So there we go, so it's really starting to blend in those edges. You want to be careful you don't end up with, so you can see there and there, you don't want to end up with this sort of copied pattern. So it might be better to choose something that's a bit lower down to copy across, something that's a bit higher up, copy across like so. And I get the feeling we're starting to lose sort of the fur texture now, sort of turning into a bit of a, like it looked better before. So maybe what we'll do instead is we will try the patch tool. If we bring this across, oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Right, let's go with that. We'll make this selection here and we'll go across. And that's filled in much nicer. And then we'll use the clone stamping tool to fill in these edges down at the bottom. Right, so we've still got a little bit of a line there, and probably a little bit of a line there. So let's save that. We'll flick over to InDesign. Oh, and that looks so much better already. So we can see that there's a little bit of a shape there. Possibly one here that we might need to look at. But apart from that, it looks pretty good. I mean, we have... So we've got quite a lot of texture here and not very much texture here. We've got quite a strong white line there. And if we wanted something that was seamless, that might not be so good. So we'll have to look at that as well. Okay. So with this shape here, I think we're gonna do what we did in the last video. We'll try it again at least. So we're using the, let me show you, we're using the marquee tool up here, and we feathered it for 30 pixels. And we're going to select sort of the middle section, and we're going to copy it with Command J. So you can see this is a piece of that, but it's got a nice feathered edge. So when we move it, it sort of sits in nicely because it's quite a complex sort of abstract-y pattern. It doesn't stand out too much when it sort of fades into each other there. So if we take that, copy that across, we go 200 across, and we'll select both of those, copy them, and we will go across 100 and then up 200. So you can see it's not quite hit that section that we wanted, so because that bit there was the bit that was bothering me, so we'll move that across a little bit to hide that. And if we save that, see what it looks like in InDesign now. Update the links. Yeah, I think that looks alright. I think there's a little section here that we could work on if we wanted to work into it, but it's basically there. So I'm going to fill in that little section there, and then I think we are done. So it's that bit there. So we could even just copy one of these pieces and move that in, and then go 100 across, 200 down, save. Damn it, we've created a line there now. So it wasn't just a case of copying it across. It wasn't just a case of copying it down. We should also copy it across as well. So it needs to go across and down. So with that shape there, we'll copy that across. Now if we head over to InDesign, yeah, much better. So yeah, so that's not actually too complicated when you actually break it down into bring all the editing into the middle and keep flicking between Photoshop and InDesign and keep making sure that it works and keep checking back. If you have any questions or comments, or if you do it differently, let me know, or in the comments below or through social media, or if you have a pattern that you're stuck with, let me know and I'll make a video on it.